in Washington, D.C., I also happened to speak with Richard Rossow from the Center for Strategic and International Studies. He also attended Prime Minister Modi's luncheon engagement with the Vice President Kamala Harris and the Secretary of State Antony Blinken. I asked him about what his experience was like during that interaction and what, according to him, will the U.S.-India relationship look like from here onwards, and why is it crucial for America to move its supply chains away from China, and how India can help on that front. With me right now is Rick Rossow, Senior Fellow and Chair, Center for Strategic and International Studies. Good to have you with us. You were there at the luncheon that was hosted by the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and also by the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, for the Indian Prime Minister. Tell us what that experience was like. What was it like interacting with the Indian Prime Minister? And describe to us what you saw.
Well, it's been a real celebration. I mean, I think between President Biden and Prime Minister Modi, you don't have the personal outpouring, the big hugs and things like that on stage. But when they talk about their personal stories, the fact that they came from lowly backgrounds and have risen to positions of great power, the Vice President talking about her own background, her many visits back to India as a young girl, taking long walks with her grandfather in Chennai. The personal bonds, once again, you know, we have great weeks and months on security, great weeks and months on economic relations, but the people-to-people contacts has always been the underpinning, and the President, the Vice President, Prime Minister, they really exhibited that so far in the trip.
Why is it so important for the US and India to actually take their relationship forward in the way that they are? We're looking at defense cooperation and tech ties growing significantly. As a result of this visit, we also see defense deals coming through and propelling the strategic relationship between the two sides.
Well, there's a couple of significant reasons. One that the leaders don't talk about publicly, but China. We both have concerns about the dangerous elements of China's rise, and that includes commercial elements as well as military, but also the fact that we are two of the economies that are going to propel global growth in the coming decades. India just surpassed China as the world's most populous country. They've got a decade now of sustained 6% economic growth. So the two countries are going to grow. If our companies want to grow, we got to make sure that we have market access and opportunities for each other. So it's going to be about China on security, and it's going to be about the health of our markets and growth for our economies.
How important is it for America at this point to wean its supply chains away from China?
Well, it's extremely important for two reasons. One, for security, and number two, you know, as we saw during COVID, over-reliance on a single market for supply chains can be dangerous as different countries run across different things, whether it could be the earthquake and tsunami in Japan. It could be COVID and China. So we've seen through multiple natural disasters and disease that things like that can actually trigger massive global supply chain disruptions. So having a little bit more, a little bit wider network for that is inherently good to make sure that supply chains can stay open, jobs can remain, and that we can keep goods on the shelves and things that people need.
Rick Rossow, thanks very much for being here with us. Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.